Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Making of a Millionaire. Today, I had a sales call with a new client. I went to go check out a 328i. I went to go check out another M235i, and then the rest of the day I spent on emails. So, client call. First thing I'd like to say is client calls are so much smoother and easier and calmer and better when the client is already interested. It's so much better. Also, I'm also kind of putting together a really nice framework for how I schedule the calls. So I try to start off with a little bit of small talk just to get them talking, just to get the juices flowing, and then transition into a little bit about myself so that they feel comfortable with my qualifications, so that they feel comfortable hearing me speak, so then they feel more comfortable to speak. And then after that, it's just learning about them, learning about their situation, learning about why they have whatever concerns they have, what concerns they have, how can I best solve them, etc., etc. So that's kind of the framework that I put together for the client calls, and it feels like I'm doing the right thing. It's also nice to think that taking on these calls like this and converting complete strangers to clients is exactly what people who are twice my age, even 3 times my age, are doing. 40-year-old CPAs, 60-year-old CPAs are doing, and I can do it at 20. Next thing, we checked out a 328i, and it was kind of beat up. It was, after tax, licensing, dealer fees, purchase price, the car was going to be about $9,500, and I kind of felt that was steep for a 328. It was also a little bit beat up and not very fast. It was plain. It was just white. I wasn't very excited about it. The guys were really nice who were selling it, but other than that, it was just not doing it for me. I went home, did a bit more research, did a bit more, what else? Did a bit more investigating, and I went down the path of, it's convenient that I have the M flag back here, but I looked at some more M235Is, and yes, before I continue, I know that a 235i is not technically a full-blown M car, but let me live. I'm 20. I cannot afford an M2 competition or an M3 or an M4. So relax. Give me a few years. Anyways, I went back to looking at M235Is, and I found one in Menifee, which is about an hour and a half away. Could be more depending on traffic. And I'm like, doesn't look too bad. Looks like a good price. Let's go check it out. Let's go see what's wrong with it, if anything is wrong with it, if it makes sense to buy. So I go check it out. I get there 10 minutes before they're closing, and car looks pretty good. I asked the sales guy, I'm like, hey, can you just give me full rundown of all the costs, everything that's going to look like? And sure enough, he gave it to me. I'm like, okay, seems reasonable. Looks like a nice car. I was not able to test drive it, but hopefully tomorrow we will test drive it, and we'll see. So there is a new hope. And after that, I spent the day on emails. I promised the person that I had the call with that I would respond with way more detail about some of the things that he was asking about. He's asking about qualified education expenses, if he took money out of his IRA, and what he could use that money for without getting the IRA penalty of 10%. If you take money out of your IRA early, you get penalized 10%. He was trying to avoid that, and he was curious about the expenses that he could use to avoid that. So I responded to him with an email, and I was able to use large language models like ChatGPT to help me formulate the emails, which is great. It's great. It's a good way to make good use of my time. I can make like really in-depth emails in a relatively short amount of time. And that's good time-wise. It's good professionally because it makes me look, way better. And it'll be good for the future as I get better at doing that. I'll be able to send out more intensive emails quicker. Something small, but something that I wanted to note. I'm going to go to bed now. Wish me luck on the test drive tomorrow, and I will see you when I see you. Deuces. Good night.